understand that? They really are. And you work hard and you put a lot of time and effort into them. They don't work out the exact way you want them all the time. You guys understand that? So enjoy that time now. We know we got a lot of work. We got to correct a lot of things. We got to fix a lot of things. But enjoy this time right now.
Missouri Western football has now won 3 straight games despite having to yell pretty loudly over that band there. 33-10 winners at Missouri Southern. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on Griffon Sports Spotlight. I'm your host, Brandon Zenner. He is Western football coach Matt Williamson. Just a weird day down there in Joplin. You guys had some travel issues getting down there. You had issues with the weather that puts the game back an hour. Just talk about the way you guys had to handle everything that came with Saturday.
We just had a lot of distractions, you know, and I talked about the players about it quite a bit as well too. But distractions on the way down, and then, you know, with the delay, we were in there, you know, we were in a little hut for about an hour and a half and just sitting on benches, and we didn't know when we were going to be able to go back out and what time we had to go back. And I sent some of our graduate assistants to go get food at Walmart just because we hadn't eaten for like 3 or 4 hours, and we're just sitting there. So we did that, kind of overcame it. I think we came out, you know, I think our defense came out and played really well. I don't know if our energy was there, but we played well. And then offensively, we just kind of sputtered a little bit here and there. And special teams played really well as well, too. So overall, good win. A win is a win. I'll take it every single time. And I was proud that our guys kind of, you know, fought through those distractions and came out with the W.
Now you guys took a huge step forward 2 weeks ago with that win against Washburn. Did this program take another step forward with kind of just the way Saturday went, or how do you assess the program after this week?
I think I have to say absolutely yes, because I'd never gone through a weather delay with that team before, and we had a lot of young guys, new guys traveling and different things. We did make some big strides. Our special teams played really, really well, and we did some really good things. We took the ball away on defense again. Offensively, if you watched and chopped up the film, we had a lot of really effective plays. We did a good job scheme-wise and everything. We just had some mishaps with penalties and some other things that happened. I had a fumble one time that kind of caused us a little, you know, a few headaches here and there, but we overcame them.
As you said, a win is a win in the MIAA. Now, if we can, let's dive into the highlights from this one. As we just said, after an hour-long rain delay, the game ended up starting at 3:05. The Griffons taking on Missouri Southern. Just how weird was it, just trying to refocus after that delay?
Well, it was tough. You know, obviously the kids came back out. You know, they'd been sitting for a while. They came back out there, got warmed up again. But we were getting ready to play. I'm looking over top of the stadium, and it looked like there was a whole nother cell. And the refs like, we're probably going back in here in about 20 minutes. And like, man, when is this going to end? But you know, our kids came out. We had a big, huge run with you know, Shamar right there. Wish he would have put it in there, and kind of got stopped at the, but scored points, put points on the board, scored 3 right out of the gate. And our defense came back, and you'll probably see that next. Our defense came back, got a turnover really quick right after that series. So we did some good things, but we still got to continue to get better.
Yeah, as you said, that 86-yard run by Shamar, setting up a field goal, and then the defense getting that one. 4 takeaways on the day. Marcus Brown had that, and then James Bailey finding the end zone for the Griffs. How nice is it to see him continue getting the end zone again?
He's doing a really good job. He had a really nice day again, as well as Shamar. And I think the 2 running backs tried to do a little bit too much this week. They tried to do too many cuts. They should have just planted their foot and went vertical, because we were pushing those guys, moving the line of scrimmage and getting positive yards, but we were trying to do too much.
What happened on Dom's first interception of the year there?
Oh, just a bad read. It was we were they were in a cover 3, and that guy was running a post. You don't throw a post in the middle of cover 3. It's just not a good situation. He should have took a check down and had a different situation where he throw, and just made a bad mental error, and it cost us. And you know, you lose possessions, that's points that you can't put on the board. So unfortunately, that happened.
So the score was 13-0 at halftime. Let's go on to the second half now. Griffons not getting much going, but Brandon Dandridge, he is a lightning in the bottle. It shows it again here, Coach, time and time again, every single week. What about this one?
He just he attacks. I mean, it's so important to him. He wants that chance every single time. So sometimes he makes some bad decisions on the one to catch the ball sometimes, which you might see here in a second. But he attacks it. And but those are great to have kids on your team, because they end up making a lot of things happen. He's very good in space. He really understands how people are trying to tackle and make a great cut back there. And then he's got some speed, and he plays well on defense as well too. Just all around great player.
And that goes on to make it 20-0. Then on to the fourth quarter of this game. You say play to the whistle. Southern's quarterback, well, he's going to try to scramble. You guys keep the play alive. Evan Shohan scoops it out. Kobe Cummings doing the rest of the work. Coach, he is coming into stride with this team.
Sure is. You know, hats off to our defense right there. They continue to hold them up. We try to keep stripped because those refs will not call that thing until it's on the ground because they want the inadvertent whistle. He picked it up, scored, and has had another really had 12 tackles, I believe, and a touchdown. It's 2 back-to-back good games, so hopefully he continues to do that.
So Sam Aviles, he played today, or played on Saturday for Tyler Bash, who's still dealing with a little bit of an injury. He had 4 makes on the day, plenty of kickers on your roster.
Absolutely. We're calling it Kicker Dude University. That's what Kicker Dude U. They've done a great job. Coach Groner does a really, he's special. He's great to have on our staff, and he spends a lot of time with them, and then we just give him confidence and give him opportunity. I feel he's broken.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to get tired of tackling because he's just such a big bruiser. But he's got speed. He can break away, and just we got to continue to work with him. He's still, still a pup, and we've got, they're all really young, so we got a lot of work to do still. But it's great to have them on the team, and they're all working together and getting touches.
4 more takeaways this week. 8 takeaways over the last 2 weeks. 10 interceptions on the year. 4 fumble recoveries. Your guys are really hitting their stride when it comes to taking the ball away.
They are. Don't go anywhere near them. You might end up with your wallet gone or something.
Oh,
so it's been good. You can change the game tremendously if you take the ball away. Obviously, it deflates the offense, but also puts you in a great field position. It changes the field, and then all of a sudden your offense can score, put points, and it's just an overall great team atmosphere. And so we've been able to do that. They moved the ball a little bit here and there, but when we need to make plays, we made them and took advantage of it.
Speaking of team atmosphere, 106 penalty yards again this week, but I'm going to focus on one penalty in specific. It was on you. 15-yard penalty. I think you got a penalty. Yeah, and
thanks,
then
I appreciate it, Brandon.
I come to your guys' practices. I know what happens to guys who get penalties like that, and you're gonna be rocking a purple jersey this week, aren't you?
I'm sure you'll have that as a video clip this week as well too.
That is for sure. So
no, it was a bad. I was a little frustrated. We'd had a couple penalties, and one of our kids, and I'm protecting our kid. He got hit tossed. And kind of reacted to it, which he shouldn't have, because the second guy always gets the penalty.
Always.
Totally understand that, but I was upset that we weren't able to see that prior, and then I stepped out too far in the field. You can't get that far out of the field, and I raised my voice a little bit, and they ended up throwing the flag. So it was something that I take back now, regret now, but it was something I definitely had to stand up for one of our players, and try to protect him.
Now, you got guys all over the field making plays, but if we can pop up the next graphic, 2 guys in particular have stood out the last few weeks. Brandon, he has 4 interceptions leading the MIAA. Kobe Cummings really coming along. Talk to me about Brandon Dandridge specifically and kind of the strides that he's taken in your second year here.
He's just, like I was talking about, he attacks everything. He sees a weakness in a receiver. He sees a weakness in the punt coverage. And he's just so aggressive. He just wants to attack. And he's very smart. He's intellectual, listens to his coaching, and tries to play within what we're trying to do as a defense. And great things are happening to him because of it. And having him in that backfield, and then him surrounded with, Jabbar Miles, and then having Kobe around those 2 guys that are really talented players to look up to, they've been kind of helping him out. And his process and his growth has just been tremendous just from week 1.
And then lastly, with Kobe, I heard him in the post-game interview saying that this team is building towards a conference championship. That's what he wants to have. What's it mean for you to hear a young guy talk about such big goals like that coming?
Well, I think he's just a winner. He played for a local local team. You're gonna get your pub on them and get a little bit.
Platte County High School.
I knew you would. But and Coach Ooch has done a great job there, and they win. And he's used to winning and win a lot of football games. So and that's what we're gonna do here as well too. And we're really excited, and we don't want anything but that. That's your obviously goal, but we can't get too far ahead. There's no way that we even start talking about that. It's in our minds. It's in everyone's mind. Every Griffon fan wants us to win, win the conference and win the national championship. But the biggest thing is we've got to win this next week. Every week is another huge challenge for us. It doesn't matter who's coming into play. It's another huge challenge for us, and we got to attack that head on.
And we'll dive into that next week when we return. Week 7 is here, and Central Oklahoma comes to town for homecoming. We'll dive into that matchup as the Griffs try to move on to 5-2. You're watching Griffon Sports Spotlight.
You know the feeling. You're glued to the news to keep up with what's happening in the world, and it's overwhelming. That's why we move beyond all the noise, anger, and division of politics and focus on the facts. Our approach to tough topics, open and honest conversation. Because here, facts matter. I'm Soledad O'Brien. Join me for Matter of Fact.
The further Claire McCaskill leaves Missouri behind, the wealthier she gets. Since she joined the Senate, McCaskill's husband's businesses got taxpayer-funded subsidies, allowing Claire and her husband to cash in, earning up to $22 million personally. He put $1 million in a Cayman Islands fund, an offshore tax haven, and she pulled her name from a bill targeting these tax havens, using government to enrich herself. That's McCaskill's money machine. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Colton, can you spell the word yes, please? That's not how you spell yes.
AIS spells yes.
The news never stops, and keeping you connected with stories that impact you is what News Press Now is committed to do. Our journalists are passionate about their community and giving the information that you need. The latest on crime in the community, what's happening with our schools, what new businesses are coming to town, who won the big game, and what to do this weekend. Read it now. Watch it now. News Press Now.
I'm proud of those kids, you know, especially coming out and you got a rain delay. I hadn't been through that with a team before. You know, this team, how we're going to act. We had to go, we went and bought a bunch of snacks because they hadn't eaten since, you know, the pregame meal. We went and got to Walmart, got a bunch of granola bars and peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly fueling the Griffons to a 4-2 record after a big win down at Missouri Southern. Now week 7, homecoming at Missouri Western against Central Oklahoma. Your alma mater is Missouri Western. What's it mean to play on homecoming here in St. Joe?
Oh, we're gonna have a great crowd. It's gonna be really good. I've had so many alumni just reach out and say, "Hey, we're coming back. We're coming back." And then, you know, just with our student support so far and our community support so far has been great. It has been top of the line since I've been at Missouri Western. It's the best it's been, and we just got to continue to push there, put out a good product, and continue to play. And I think more fans and more alumni, and more people will come back. And I appreciate St. Joe and all of our fans for that. But it's big. It's really big. You got a lot of people coming in, but it's just really, it's another time to get to play at the Spratt and have you know, just a home game where everything's just kind of organized and set. You just wake up and you're ready to play, and it'll be good. There'll be a lot of stuff. I know they got parades and all kinds of different stuff, you know, going around, and we're doing a pep rally, and there's a lot of stuff. But it's great to see the support from the school and the community and stuff.
Now, everyone that was at the game last year remembers exactly how it went down. 34 total points in that fourth quarter. You guys win 41-37. Don Marino, 2 great passes to Elijah Cunningham on the exact same route. Then they come in this year at 3-3. 4 of those teams against possibly some of the top 5 teams in this league. They have beat the likes of UCM and Northwest. Talk to me about this UCO team.
They're good. They're really good. They play, you know, defensively. You watch them play on the defense, and it's probably the most, I would say, passionate, electric effort defense that I've seen this year so far. And they've got some good players, but man, and they'll miss a few tackles here and there, but they make up for their mistakes when all 11 guys are running the ball. It's really impressive, and they do that on special teams as well too. They're coached very well. Give their coaches a lot of respect, and then offensively they're really big up front, try to move people off the ball. They've moved quarterbacks around a little bit. They've had 3 different quarterbacks play. Got a big physical back that'll kind of just run through you, and then break one. So we got, you know, and I talked a little bit about early in the radio show. It's pretty much gonna be a cage match. It's gonna be me versus you, and you know who's gonna, you know, no holds barred. Let's get it on. Let's see what happens. And they're gonna be physical. We're gonna be physical. We're gonna play hard. They're gonna play hard, and then it all comes down to straight execution off of that and playing within the team concept.
Now let's take a look at the tail of the tape in this one. Now their offense, they have rushed the ball less than anyone in this conference. They look to throw the ball. 3 guys have thrown at least 24 passes. What's the deal there? You were talking a little bit about their quarterback situation. It looks like they have 3 different guys that might be able to step up to the plate for them.
Yeah, they have. You know, had one that played real early. I think he got banged up. brought in another one. I didn't see him get injured, and then this past week they brought in another one, number 7. That was a transfer from Louisiana Monroe. He came in and he just lit it up. Looked great. I mean, looked really good. So not sure what we're going to get. We'll probably get him. Be hard to pull the reins back on him, but I think he'll play. But you know, you're not really sure. He ran the ball really well. Was really effective. He ran a zone read, broke one off for about 60 yards. So he's got some wheels. It's going to be tough to defend, but I know Coach Richter and Coach Shaw have done a really good job, and Coach Horn, all those guys on the defensive staff have put some really good game plans together. We just got to make sure we out-physical them and tackle well.
Now, you were just talking about how the physical of a team they are. Coach Bobek always seems to have it down there at UCO. Talk about that defensive side of the ball and how physical they are up front in that front 7.
Well, they just play fast, and they get off blocks really well, and then you can just see it. It's they've got it so important. And we, you know, I talk about that as I was a coordinator, and all the time as a defensive coordinator, you really want like your kids to feel like there's a magnet on their chest, and then there's a magnet on someone on the ball carrier's chest, and as soon as that thing moves, it all just comes together. And then when you watch their film, that's what they do. It's pretty impressive. And so we're gonna have to man up front. We're gonna have to get our blocks. We're gonna have to block well with our receivers. We're gonna have to run the ball hard. We're gonna have to make correct checks and just put a whole package together.
Now, we were just talking about, they have 2 big wins against 2 teams that you guys have lost to, Northwest and UCM. What did you see as a difference in those 2 ball games?
Well, you know, I think the teams they did a really good job of playing hard, playing physical,
staying right there, that block,
staying in front. But as you saw, Central Missouri and Northwest Missouri, there's quite a few miscues, and it was because probably the pressure and the effort and the intensity that UCO plays with. They made their quarterbacks feel uncomfortable. They made a lot of really bad decisions at the quarterback position, both Northwest and Central Missouri, and put themselves, and UCO put themselves in a situation to win both those games. So how off to them. Like I said, they're good, man. I'm telling you, they're good. But we got a whole week ready to go, and we're really excited about it.
And with how the MIAA is shaking out, nothing is out of the picture for this. The 2 teams at 5-1, and then you guys are right there 1 game back. But 3-0, you guys are at home. You guys return to the Sprat. We say it every week, the importance of winning at home.
Ask you one more time.
It's at the Sprat.
All right. Where's it at?
It's at the Sprat.
Right.
Now, every home game is big. Every game is big in this league. How big is this one?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, week to week, as you get deeper into the season, the games become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, depending on where you're at. But we can't, as a team, we can't focus on what this game means in our future 10 games. That, you know, after game 10, we've got to focus on, hey, we are back at the Sprat. We're playing at home. We're going to have an awesome crowd. We're going to have great support from our community, and we're going to practice our tails off this week. And we're going to come out, and it's going to be a cage fight. And we're going to have to prepare ourselves like that, and we're going to have to be able to play with passion, effort, but also play within our team concepts to make sure that we get a win.
With how big this one, you got a short message you want to send to the fans?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, anything that you can do and anything that you can do, we need to get people out. We want to fill those stands. The more we have in the stands makes a huge impact on our win.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me this week. Coach Willie, best of luck on Saturday against Central Oklahoma. When we return, I'll be joined by Rob Edmondson, head coach of the women's basketball team, as we look forward to the season. Practice begins later this week. You're watching Griffon Sports Spotlight on Fox 26 KNPN.
I'm Claire McCaskill. Let's talk about these false attacks against my family. I was a single mom, raising 3 children when I met my husband, who'd already built a very successful business before we'd even met. For my opponent to attack me for marrying a wealthy man is outrageous. Independent groups have fact-checked these attacks and say the charge about my family getting rich at voters' expense is false. I approve this message because we need a campaign about what matters to your family, not these shameful personal attacks.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
It's an endless summer of laughs.
Everything's gonna be okay.
You remember when summer meant fireflies and cut-off shorts and ice cream trucks?
Well, 1 out of 3.
Endless sun.
Mom, that perk was ogling you again.
No,
I was reading my horoscope.
Endless adventure.
Do you remember being in Dallas? No, we must have slept through it. You're wearing a cowboy hat. So are you.
Endless fun.
It's gonna be a great year!
Modern Family, nightly.
Intensity and the energy and the spirit of this Griffon football team, and it's going to continue to grow and become more and more powerful.
Coach's expectations, you know, they're not going to change. I feel like this is like momentum that's going to carry over next year. The girls that were sitting on the bench, they've seen it, so they know what to expect.
We'll be one of those teams that you have to say will be in the mix to make a run at it. I really believe that.
We're going to get stronger no matter what. You know, with him on our side, there's just no way to go back.
That was Sarah Ledbetter and Rob Edmondson following last year's MIAA tournament semifinals. MIAA Media Day is Tuesday. Practice starts, well, for you guys on Sunday. So perfect time to have Coach Ed join us. Coach, how was your off season? Do you even get an off season?
Well, technically there's some downtime, but we most of our kids stayed around this summer, so we were fortunate. We had 8 or 9 kids stay and do workouts all summer and got jobs in town and on campus. So they stayed around to get ready for this year, and so we're excited about the season. It's amazing that we're in October, and October 29th we're at the University of Missouri playing already. So we've got to get rolling. We have our first practice Sunday. We're saving our hours this week so that we can get started on Sunday instead of Monday. But it's here. It's time to go.
How about your off season? Not the girls. What did you do? Did you do anything fun?
No, I had no fun at all. I gained weight maybe. I like to eat too much, but we had a good summer. It was a relaxing summer. It was kind of a summer to rejuvenate. You know, the last season was just pretty stressful with all the injuries.
It was?
It was a little bit. I mean, it was harder on the kids that had the injuries, but it was tough on us as a staff. And so we kind of took this summer. We ran some camps, had some good camps, and kids were around to help with that. But we just tried to take this summer to rejuvenate a little bit. And it was mentally stressful just watching all those kids go through those injuries. And you know, it's like having 12 extra daughters on your team. So if you can imagine 7 of your daughters having to do surgery, that's kind of what it was.
Now, you guys do lots of training dating back all the way back to the spring, but just how did all the work go, getting some new pieces back, but also a lot of returners, a really good mix on this team? It
is. It's a good balance. You know, a lot of people have asked, you know, where do you think you're going to be? And we really have a lot of unknowns because so many of those kids that did get hurt were starters, and so we didn't get to play a whole season. Yeah. So I really don't know what they're going to do in a 30-game schedule. The kids coming back off of surgery are healed up and doing well, but some of them have chronic issues. It's just young ladies with old knees, and so that's just the way it is. And then we have 6 new kids that we just don't know what they're going to do. So we have 15 kids on the roster. You know, obviously we increased our roster size. A little out of paranoia from last year when we got down to 5 kids and a soccer player. So, but for the most part, the kids are healthy. Our preseason has been really good. The energy level is good. Our kids are, you know, they're tired of preseason. They're ready to start practice and start playing games.
Oh, yeah. Now, this might be the last time I ask about last season, but so many trials and tribulations. As we said, you guys finished a game with 4 girls and one of them being a soccer player at one point. That season, the way it ended, getting all the way to the MIAA tournament semifinals, first 12 seed to ever do something like that in the MIAA tournament. What did that do for the girls coming back, for this program, and for you, Coach?
Well, you know, for our players, it really, even though they had every excuse you could come up with of not being successful, our kids were just really proud how they finished the year and our chemistry and how our team just evolved in terms of taking care of each other and supporting each other, and you know, and team chemistry is such an important thing in women's basketball. But even then, they were unsatisfied. They felt like they, for this, where we've established our program and our culture and our success we've had, they felt like they let the program down. So that kept them hungry all summer. That's why they stayed around. I was just more proud of how our kids fought through the adversity. You know, I've had a lot of people ask what they thought of that season, and that was my 32nd season. And I thought our staff, our assistant coaches, and all around, I thought it was probably the best coaching job that we've ever done. Just to take that adversity and what we had to do with 5 players completely changed how we play every night. change things 2 and 3 times a year just to be able to compete and hang on, and we did it probably at a pretty good level. We were probably sent 2 teams home that thought they were going to the NCAA tournament. And
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think you even like playing a little bit of a zone defense now.
It will be part of our package now. And that's one of the things that was a positive side effect out of all that turmoil was, as coaches, it stretched us. We had to go. Absolutely. We had to go and find different things to help our kids win and put them the best chance to win. And so now I can say I'm not 100% man coach. You will see some zone this year at times.
Great. Now. As for this team, you only graduate 2 girls, Savannah Lentz and Paige Phipps, the soccer player turned basketball player. You get Sarah Ledbetter back with that extra eligibility. This core, how much do you like these girls with the season just a couple days away?
Well, obviously right now while we're 0-0, we love our kids, and all coaches at this time of year are tremendously enthusiastic, and every team's talking about, we want to win a conference championship, and now get the NCAA tournament. Everybody has those dreams right now. But we like our team just from the standpoint of their chemistry and how they take care of each other. And, it starts with Malia Richardson, who's a senior this year, who's one of the toughest kids to ever play in our program. And when you've got a Malia out there that's running around and directing practices, and her work ethic just rubs off on everybody. We've got a lot of kids that are very self-disciplined about their work ethic and what they're doing. So our returning group is going to do a great job of helping our new kids understand what the expectations are here and where we're at.
Coach, I cannot wait to talk about the season coming up with you more. As you said, Malia Richardson, plenty of local girls on this team. It is going to be fun. You can catch all of our MIAA Media Day coverage coming up on News Press Now all week long. Join us next week as we recap Western's football game against Central Oklahoma and look ahead to Emporia State. You've been watching Griffon Sports Spotlight on Fox 26 KNPN.